Hi, so you might know that Epic are now giving away Unreal 4 for free ever since GDC 2015. They've also been working on a new version of Unreal Tournament, which is sort of community driven, so you can actually develop your own maps for it and actual assets and things. So if you get the download manager and install it, you will get the Epic Games Launcher, which when you run it, you'll get something like this, and there's an Unreal Tournament tab, and you can actually, I've already done it, but you can download the actual game from here, which is in alpha still. But if you hit create, you can also get the editor to make your own maps. Now, to make it a bit easier, I've just set it up as a link. You can do this yourself if you just want to set the location where the launcher is. So normally something like C, in my case D because I've got D drive, program files, Epic Games. There'll be like a folder called Unreal Tournament Editor. If you set it to your U project that's in that folder, I'll just open that location, you'll see the Unreal Tournament.u project. If you just set that as your target, then you can then just run that, and it should load straight into the editor and bypass the launcher, because sometimes the launcher is a bit of a pain and a bit slow, and it just gets that step out of the way. So I'll just quickly load this up. There's a couple of reasons I wanted to do this video. One was to sort of talk about how to set up and use the actual editor to make your own Unreal Tournament maps. And the other is to kind of go through what I've been working on. I've got a bit of a block out level, which I'm hopefully going to work on a bit more, put some more visual elements into it, you know, actually make it look nice and pretty. But this is the way you always develop maps. You always start off with a block out first, and then once you've actually got the actual level layout nailed down, you know, the design of it, then you can start putting in visual elements. And this is the example map that they give you, and that kind of proves it. They've got, obviously this is just like a well, it's usually referred to as like a playground level, to give you all the different weapons and examples of how you can use different elements to make a map. So we won't use this. We'll jump to mine. I'll just call it test map for now. It's not a very exciting name. So here's my map. Now I've only got quite a small map, which is not unusual. You know, you don't want there to be too many rooms and the size of the level to be too big in an Unreal Tournament map. You want to keep it quite condensed. There's going to be a lot of action. It's very twitchy shooter, so there are only a handful of rooms. I said I think there's about 5 in this map. I might extend this, maybe put in 2-3 more rooms. There's also quite a few corridors and things like that, little corridors to get between rooms and break things up a little bit. What I want to tell you about is a few little hints for actually using this. When you're doing block out, it's a good idea to use this. This is the BSP option in modes inside the editor. Now BSP stands for binary space partitioning, and what it basically allows you to do is just drag in very basic brushes that you can then rescale, and you can quickly block out. You notice there when I did that, it didn't actually show the updated partitioning. It just showed the wireframe and the old shape when it was dragged in. So I thought this was kind of annoying, and I thought, oh, there must be an option. but I couldn't really find any info on it. So I'm going to tell you that now. If you go into Edit, Editor Preferences, there's a level editor, Miscellaneous, there's this option, Update BSP Automatically, which is exactly what I need. I don't think it's going to do it straight away, but if I move it, there you go. Now every time you create a new one or update an existing one, it will then automatically rebuild it. You won't have to hit this build button, which just slows down your workflow. Now this is why you want to use BSP. Now in the older maps, everything used to be created with BSP, but as you can see, it's not particularly friendly. There are some editing tools, like you can edit these verts and things like that, but it's a lot of work to kind of model in it, and it's not really used anymore as a way to model level. The best way to do things is to block out in BSP because it's nice and fast. I just put cubes down and things. But then when you've kind of got that basic shape, the basic layout, then what you want to do is export, because it does let you do that, the BSP as meshes. You can take all the meshes into, like, say, Max or Maya or something similar, another 3D package, and then make it look, visually interesting in that, and then re-import it, and it will be all meshes. And you can remove the BSP, and you'll have something that looks a hell of a lot better. But for the actual ease of creation of levels, BSP is the way to go, right? You just want to put stuff down and get instant results. So there's that option there. Another good idea, if you have a map that you're going to be working on a lot, I think it's in project settings, which is under edit as well. So the one underneath the editor preferences, there's this option called maps and modes. If you click there, you can actually just set the map you made as the default. I'm just going to find mine, and I will change this name at some point, but I don't need to at the moment. And there you go. So every time it starts up, it'll start up in this map. Just close that. And so let's talk a bit about my map, where it's going and things like that. So I've kind of blocked it out at the moment, and I've kind of started adding some weapon points to kind of give a guide of where they might be. I might change the location still, but just put 3 weapons in so far. I definitely wanted kind of like a sniper spot here. So this corridor up here has a sniper point. You can look down various corridors. Now, one thing when I was developing this, and I'm still kind of working on this a little bit, was that I had this room back here as an addition as I've been making it. And I probably will change this again, but before I had this room going through here and it was open without this wall here and pretty much led back up to this area. But it meant that he could effectively go from this room, this area here, and into this room and just keep sniping, and that was kind of bad. You had pretty much control of the map. So I tried sort of blocking it off with a wall. I don't think that's going to work either. I think I'm going to have to kind of change this again, probably have a couple of corridors and then back round, like maybe in like a U shape to get here. So you can't just lock down that map, and also someone kind of sneak up behind you and stop you from sniping, basically. That was my intent anyway there. So there's still a change to make there. The rest of it, I've tried to make the map kind of loop around, give you lots of access points. There's no sort of dead ends. There's always a flow. There's always action. So if we just jump in, I'll show you what I mean. Just wait for it to load. There we go. So this looks back on what I'm going to call the sniping area. Go through here. There's a tunnel that goes underneath the step stairs. Go up these stairs, I'll show you what I mean. Sniping area. These are the stairs above that go down. This loops back around to this area, which then goes out to that main room with the sniping point. And this is like a big open room that again leads through to this corridor, and you can get back here. And this area over here that I'm kind of working on at the moment will then do the same. It'll go up here. I've got to sort this bit out still, but then we'll funnel back into here. And again, I might add like a couple of extra rooms. I'm not completely happy with the layout yet, but there's a bit of an explanation of thought process and how everything needs to flow around. You need to kind of be aware of that, and not unbalancing the map. As I said, this sniper position would have just been possibly an area where someone could dominate the map, so I wanted to get rid of that as soon as possible. So that was a bit of a brief overview. I hope you kind of learnt something. Also, there's a few pointers in there for map building and a few for like how to set up an Unreal Tournament, the actual editor itself, and work on it. And that's it really. Thanks for watching. See you next time.